Good evening. This is a recorded to-go class. I'm recording for Thursday night, June 27th. As I'm recording this, I'm making plans to head to Boston on Sunday for my corporate job. So because I'm going to be in Boston all week next week, I need to record my to-go class. My live to-go class is going to be recorded. So anyway, this is for June 27th. I am April Davis. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I live in Spring Hill, Kansas. So we're going to get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to share with you some of the specials that we've got going on right now that are really cool, and I don't want you to miss out on them. So let me go ahead and send this over, and I'm going to actually join you. Whoops. That's not working, is it? Let's try this. This and that. Now, how about that? Got it. Sometimes there's just too many buttons. Anyway, I don't want you to forget about the fact that we've got an extra 10% off going on right now for the month of June. It's through June 30th, so that would be next Sunday, not this Sunday. Well, it's going to be Sunday because you're going to be seeing this on the 27th. So anyway, don't forget extra 10% off on bundles and an extra 10% off on the stamp and cut and emboss machines, both the small and the large. So wanted to bring that to your attention and remind you about that. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to talk about, of course, this is a to-go class, but before we go there, I want to talk a little bit about the Fusion Fest on techniques that I'm partnering with Tina, the Northern Stamper, on. This technique class is huge. There are going to be probably 40 plus different techniques introduced to you across the weekend of September 27th, 28th, and 29th. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's all on Facebook. You'll have exclusive access rights to Facebook, and there'll be plenty enough time for you to work the techniques and ask questions and have some fun with this. And you don't have to worry about being present 100% of the time. The nice part about this Facebook technique class is the fact that you get to come and go as you want to, and we'll keep you posted on what's going on. Again, it's September 27th, 28th, and 29th. Registration closes on September the 1st, so I know we've got some time. I'm going to continue to remind you about this. The early bird pricing has closed, so now we just have the registration cost for you, and all you need to do is go out to my website and click on register, and I know you can't see it because I'm in the way, but click on register and that'll get you set up. And then we'll be reaching out periodically prior to that class to get you set up and get you ready. But you will receive a kit that has a lot of the paper and supplies and tools and everything you're going to need. So I will be sharing this with you as we go forward, but if you want to reserve a spot, be sure to sign up as soon as you can. All right, let me do a little bit of adjusting here, and I am going to bring in the cards that we're making tonight. Tonight is a to-go class. I probably should have taken you to the to-go spot on my website. However, because I'm recording this a week in advance, it's currently set up for my to-go class that's actually going to be tonight after I finish recording. So all you have to do is go out to April Davis Creations, go to Clubs and Classes, scroll down to to-go class, and then click on that. And all of the information will be there for this class that I'm recording right now. It'll be there for you when you're ready to see it. All right, cards. Let me share the cards that we're making tonight. We are actually utilizing the Hugs and Hearts bundle. These little guys are so cute. And I will tell you that I'm not typically into all the little cutesy little animals and stuff. And I've really been stepping out of my comfort zone and starting to do more with them. I've had a couple of other classes that I've done where I've done the little cutesies. I'm having fun with them. I really am. And I'm so glad that I'm pushing myself to step outside of my comfort zone, because you start to do that and you start to think differently, and suddenly these little cutesy critters really are cute, and I can see them on cards, and that's why I'm excited to share the cards with you tonight. So here's card number 1, sending birthday hugs. Look at these little guys hugging up. And then we've got a happy birthday. I'm utilizing the dies, and I'm also utilizing tonight, I'm using the In Color Designer Series paper. But I'm not using the little critters on this particular card. So you can utilize the dies and the paper and have, something totally different. And then we've got our little, I don't know, it's a debate. Is it a hamster? Is it a gerbil? I don't know what it is. It's cute. Anyway, he's sending a big hug as well, so we'll be working on this one as well. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with our sending birthday hugs and our little critters that are hugging up. And I'm gonna bring the kit out just so that you can see it. This is the kit. We're gonna be utilizing the Shy Shamrock Green, which is an In Color paper. I've got another layer of Shy Shamrock. I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper from our In Color Designer Series paper pack. This is Smoky Slate. We've got a piece of basic white cardstock. And then I also have a scrap of basic white cardstock that we're gonna stamp the sentiment on. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start by just folding our card base, and I'm gonna take my bone folder. Take my bone folder and get that taken care of. And then we're gonna build this layer. So this layer is going to lay on top of our card base, and I'm going to start by adding the Designer Series paper. So we're gonna add the Designer Series paper here. There we go. We just needed a little bit of help. So we'll get this adhered. And then I'm going to take some of the white ribbon from our pink and white diagonal trim combo pack. And I'm actually going to wrap it around. But to save ribbon, I'm just gonna measure out enough so that I can wrap it around each side. Take my ribbon snips. My ribbon snips are the ones that have the ribbon on it. They stay nice and sharp. And then I'm going to take my Scotch tape, and I just want to make sure I get this lined up appropriately. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cover up that seam. So I'm going to take a piece of Scotch tape, and cover this up. And then I can turn it over, make sure I get it lined up appropriately, fold it over, and we'll tape this side down. Okay. Now, we are going to put a bow on this, but I'm not going to put the bow on yet until I actually get, that looks a little crooked, doesn't it? There we go. I'm not going to put the bow on until I actually get my next layer down. So the next layer is going to be the layer that we do our stamping on. So I'm going to pull out our little critters stamps, and it's just one stamp. So let me pull this out. Nice and sticky. And I'm gonna pull out a stamp block. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it like this. And then we're gonna stamp in the Memento ink. I'm gonna be doing some coloring with my Stampin' Blends. So let's go ahead and get that inked up, and we're gonna do it. You know what I realized? This is good. So I keep a tray of cardstock. You know, every time I get a scrap of, things that I'm trimming off from, and this is my basic white. I do it mostly with the basic white, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, this layer is the layer that gets to go here. That means, and I want to cut out my little critters, so I'm going to pull out a piece of my scrap, and everything's good. I just didn't have it in my kit tonight, but now I can go ahead and stamp my little critters down. They're going to be ready to color. I'm going to take my Simply Chamois and clean off my stamp. And now I can go ahead and start coloring. So I've got two colors that I'm utilizing. I'm going to color one of our critters in the crumb cake, and I'm going to color the other critter in the smoky slate. So I always start with a lighter color. It's just my preference. And I'll go ahead and get this done. So you guys get to watch me color. I'll try to go fairly quick. But I didn't want to miss being with you guys next Thursday night, so hence my recording. I traveled to Boston. I work remotely, and so my office is actually in Waltham, Massachusetts, but obviously you fly into Boston. And I end up going back to Boston probably at least once a quarter. Sometimes it's a little bit more often. But we used to live in Boston just for a short period of time, for about 4 years, and really, really liked it there. We did not move home because we didn't like it. We moved home because this is where our family is. And when we left, the kids, my son had just gotten married, and my daughter actually got engaged the night before we left. So we did a long distance wedding, but then they started having babies. I now have 5 grandchildren, and I wanted to be available for them. So we decided after 4 years to move back home. It was easier. Our parents are getting older. We didn't want to miss out, on time with them as well. So we moved back about, it's crazy, but it's been about 4.5 years now. I feel like it hasn't been that long, but it really has been that long. So I continue to work East Coast hours and travel back and forth to Boston, but I work remotely here in Kansas. So I have my Stampin' Up office down here, and I have my corporate job office upstairs. So right now I'm putting in a little bit of dark highlighting, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of color this in and blend it in, and it will be more like a shadow for my coloring. We'll do that. And I saw that I don't have my pink, so we'll do his nose later. Now we're going to go ahead and do the crumb cake. We're going to get, oh look, he has a leg down here that I can't forget about. So is this dark or light? This is light, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and color in his leg. And then I'm gonna do, this is light, I'm gonna do a little bit more shading here. I want this to blend a little bit better. So I'm just gonna pull it out. All right, there we go. All right, now let's do the other little guy. And I'm gonna start again with the light. But I leave on Sunday because we've got meetings on Monday that I have to be in attendance for. And I have my card classes this weekend, my face-to-face card classes this weekend. And when I do my card classes, I do them once a month, but I do 3 of them. So I do 2 on Saturday, one from 10 to 12, and then I do another one from 1 to 3, and then I do a 3rd class on Sunday. That way everybody gets an opportunity to pick, what works best for their schedule. And because I had already scheduled my card class, but I found out I was going to have to travel to Boston, so I have a later flight Sunday. I'm flying out to Boston, which then gets me into Boston a little bit later, but it's okay. I have a direct flight, and the flight's probably a little over 3 hours, so not too bad. I'll just relax while I'm on the flight. So let me put in some shadows here. Put a little bit down here, and I'm gonna come along over here a little bit. I'm not really an artist, so I'm probably not putting the shadows where they really are supposed to be, but it works. Still looks good. All right, so let's go ahead and take the light again and blend that back out. And you can see, at least on the gray one, how eventually those lines just kind of blend in, which makes it look like maybe I'm an artist, even though I'm not. So I'll go ahead and get that blended in. And then as it dries, it tends to lighten up a little bit. Okay, and then let me see, this is the light, so I'm gonna take the dark, and I'm gonna use the dark for his little face. And I don't, let me see, no, I don't have my, my little pink, my Stampin' Blend with me. Normally, probably what I would do is I would color in their noses a little bit with the pink, but I'll do that later. I don't have that with me right now. All right, so we've got these guys colored. So let's go ahead and bring out our little mini cut and emboss and get our little sandwich set up. Let me see, my dies are right here. And I'm going to pull out some of my mint tape. This is a very low tack tape. I really like using it a lot. It helps to hold the die in place while I'm cutting things out. And I just had to order some more. I'm getting low. So I know that I get this from scrapbook.com. So if anybody was asking or thinking about it, you can also use, you don't have to use this low tack tape. You can use Post-it notes, you can use washi tape. I just happen to like the tape, and you'll see I use it over and over again. It's not like I tear a piece and then that's it. I use it over and over again until it just doesn't work for me anymore. So I'm constantly putting my tape off to the side so that I can reuse it again the next time I get ready to die cut. All right, so we've got our little critters cut out. Let me put my die over here. And I'll move that out of the way. And now what we can do is we can kind of start building our scene here. So when I'm cutting, and I'll show you these dies again, there's a lot of little dies here. So there's the little leaves, all these little flowers, some hearts. When I'm cutting little things like this, I tend to just sit and cut a lot. And then that way I don't have to do this every single time I sit down to do a card. So I'm gonna pull out a couple of these leaves that we're gonna utilize for the card. So I think I need about 3 of them. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then also this card is done with hearts. So let me see if I can pull some of these hearts out. Hopefully I have enough. I have a lot of flowers. Here's a heart. I need 2 pink and 2 purple and a green. So there's pink, pink, purple, purple, and let's see, here's actually it's not green, it is Summer Splash. So let me put these all back in. We will pull these out again, but I just keep them a little baggy, and then you know what I do is I keep them right inside my card case. Actually, I keep this in, put it between here, and then everything stays together. So the next time I get ready to use this, we've got it. All right, I am actually, as I'm looking, hopefully I'm not in your way, but I am gonna take myself down because I'm worried that, you know, I may be working in an area where you can't see. So let me just make a quick adjustment here. And then that way you can see the full screen. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. And I'm gonna pull my glue back out again, and let's go ahead and let's start building this scene. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue here. And let's see, I'm gonna put some behind the leaves. So I'm just doing them in little dots, as you can see. It doesn't take a lot of glue. This is gonna do just fine. So I'm gonna put some little dots here. Turn this over and get this adhered over here. And I'm just gonna put it down at the very end of my card layer. And we'll go ahead and we'll do another one. And I think this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the other side, and then we'll trim up that third one to have it, get it to fit. So a little bit more glue here. Dot, 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 dot. All right, and we'll go ahead and put that one here. I want my stems to be growing straight. And then this one's gonna go right in the middle. So let me think about where I want it to go. I'm only gonna need one. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim it, let me see. I need to trim it from about right here. Let me get out my snips. So I'm gonna try to trim it from about right here. And then I'm going to trim this one off. Let's see. I'm gonna try to round the edges on this one because I want it to look like the rest of the grass. So I'm kind of snipping a rounded edge. All right, let's move this stuff out of the way. And then I can take my adhesive and I'm gonna glue that little piece down. All right, got that. Getting my fingers in it. Get this down. Let's see, we'll do it like this. All right, now what we can do is we can start putting our flowers on. Make sure I've got, there we go. So I need 5 flowers, but before I do that, actually, what I should have done, let me get my take your pick out. It's got my little brush end on the end of it. I'm gonna pop this one up just a little bit. I don't want it down quite yet. We'll get it. But what I wanna do is I wanna tuck my little critters in behind here. So I'm going to see what I can do as far as getting these guys tucked in here so that, yeah, I should have done this. It's a good thing I only put a little bit of glue on it. So I can get these tucked in and then I can go ahead and put the rest of it down. So my take your pick's gonna help me just get these little pieces up and then I'll re-glue them down. Okay, let's see. I think that's about where I want them to be. So let's go ahead and glue them down. Just tuck them in behind these flowers and maybe a little bit over the grass behind that flower. Just kind of weaving it in and out here. So I think that's good. I like that. Okay, and there's still actually glue on these. I just popped them up, so they should be fine. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my glue again, and what I really want is, here's my other take your pick. All right, I'm gonna pull this one out of the way. I wanna use this putty end to my take your pick because it's gonna help me to pick up these little flowers. So I'm gonna turn them all right side up, and then I'm gonna take my glue and I'm just going to put glue on each one of those tops of the stems. So we've got that. And then I will, oh, you know what? I needed another, I'm just noticing, we'll get that in a second. I didn't count right. I need one more blue one. So let's go ahead and get that down. And then we're gonna do a purple one. Okay. And then we'll do a blue one. So we're getting that down. Another purple one over here. Actually, there's going to be more flowers on this one. I'm going to pull out a couple colors. Let's see. Let's go ahead and my previous one, I had pulled off a few more flowers, but let's go ahead and pull out a couple more. This is why it's good idea to go ahead and cut out extras just in case they might be needed. So I'm looking for another purple heart, and I see it. There we go. Whoops. Now I've got all kinds of hearts coming at me. Let's go ahead and do this and put this one back. All right. Get these put away. And actually, while I'm putting these away, I'm going to actually put these in there too, because you never know. I might need them to fill some space. All right, so let's go ahead and put this away now, and I'm gonna go ahead, my glue is still there. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do up another flower here. And turn this one over. I take your pick, makes it so easy. And now I've got my flowers all set up. So now what we can do is we can move into building the rest of the card for right now. We've got one more stamping thing that we need to do, but let's go ahead and get this done so that the flowers can start to dry. So let's go ahead, get my glue all over. All right, I'm going to bring it up and get this centered where I want to get it centered. Okay. And now what I can do with this, I'm going to let it dry for just a second before we actually adhere it. In the meantime, I'm going to pull out another block, and I'm going to pull out the sentiment that says sending birthday hugs. And basically, let me see, I'm going to do it on this one instead. We have a longer block. And when I'm lining my stamps up, I try to line them up on my grid, as you can see. And then I use my block and I line it up on the grid as well. And then when I pick it up, it's supposed to pick up and be straight. However, that didn't look so straight, so we're going to try that one again. All right, let's try it again. Try not to move it. Still looks like it's a little crooked to me, so I'm just going to manually do it. Okay, so take the Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp this up. Make sure I get good coverage on it. And then I'm going to bring it down, and I'm sorry if I get my head in the way, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down and stamp. Okay. Not straight like I want it to be, but I'm not worried about it because I'm not going to keep it together. Whoops. So let me clean this off real quick. And then I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut these apart. So I'm going to cut off sending birthday hugs to sending birthday hugs. And now what I can do is I can look at this and decide how I want to cut this down. So, I mean, now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look so crooked. I think let me see, I haven't decided. I think I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. And if I do it on this one, then I'm going to do it on all of them. But I'm just going to leave a little bit of a border, top and bottom. Just kind of making decisions as I go as to how I want this to look. So since I cut that one down, I need to cut this one down, straight shot. Is that straight? Straight enough. And then I have hugs, right? I have hugs here somewhere. All right. Did you guys see where hugs went? This is craziness. Oh, here it is. Phew. It's like inevitably I end up losing something on my little craft area that it's not that big. So I sometimes wonder, it's like, how did I possibly lose that? But I found it. So let me get this trimmed down. Now we've got the 3 sending birthday hugs. So let me move all of this scrap activity out of the way and get it in the bin so I don't have to mess with it. This is another scrap that I can probably continue to use, so I'm going to set it off to the side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some of these dimensionals and I'm going to, because these are so thin, I am going to cut a small line of dimensionals from my almost used up pack. So we're going to start here. And I'm going to, let me see how I want to do this. I'm going to cut a piece here, and then cut a piece here, and I'm going to cut a piece here. Oop, did it go flying? There it is. All right, put this off to the side. And now I'm going to adhere them. I may need to use my tweezers to help me out a bit because it's a little, these are little, and my fingers just always get in the way. All right, so let's pull these tweezers out. And it's just gonna help me get it adhered where I want it to be. So I'll go ahead and take the back of this one off. Right now I'm just getting them stuck down. And then we'll take the other layer off. They're two-sided, so take this and get it down here. All right. But I want my sending birthday hugs to be elevated, if you will. So we're gonna put those dimensionals on that. And let me see, this one's almost too long, so I'm just gonna kind of angle it a little bit, see if I can see the dimensionals, and I can't. So let me move this stuff out of the way. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take well, let's go ahead and get this adhered first. So we're going to adhere our little critters, our cute little critters, to this card base. So let's get that done. And then we can tie our bow to finish off that part of it. Move those out of the way, I don't want to lose them. Okay, we'll get this centered up the way that I want it. I always have to pick it up and look. Get my bow straight. Okay. That looks good to me. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go back in and we're gonna grab some ribbon. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my take your pick to kind of help me tuck that ribbon up underneath the ribbon that we already laid down. And I'm gonna actually turn it over because there are two sides to this ribbon. It's not very noticeable, but there are two sides. So let me just go ahead. I want to have plenty to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Move that out of the way. And then we're going to tie ourselves a bow. And I'm going to bring it in close to my mat. And if you didn't want to tie a bow, you could just leave it like it is here and snip the ends, and that would look good too. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish tying this bow. And then if I don't like the way it looks, then I'll snip the ends. You've got two choices until you get it actually all the way done. All right, let me pull this. I have to kind of manipulate it a little bit. For some reason, I always end up longer on one end than I do the other end. It's just how it always works out for me. All right, so now I've got my bow. I'm happy with that. I'm pulling it out so that I can take my ends and get them snipped off. So we're gonna snip this end and we're gonna snip this end. And see, because my snips are so sharp, it just really makes it easy for me to be able to get that done. So now I've got my bow. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some more dimensionals. I'm gonna get a better pack of dimensionals. I'm sure I've got, yep, I have a new one. I've got some ribbon here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put some dimensionals on the back of this. So here, and we're gonna pop that up from the card base. All right, got that. Let's use my take your pick and we'll take the backs of these off. That one didn't come off. There we go. All right, off to the side, and then we're gonna go ahead and make sure my card's facing the right direction. And I'm gonna show you guys something. So you know I love my glue, and my glue gives me an opportunity to have a little bit of wiggle room. You actually, because I fight with my dimensionals all the time, if I put a little bit of glue on the back of my dimensionals, that gives me enough time that if I need to wiggle, I can. And I always forget to do that, but I wish I didn't. Of course, when I don't need to wiggle, then I put it down straight. But so we've got that on there, but the glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room on it. And now the last thing to do now is just to add your sentiment. So I'm gonna take hugs first, and I'm gonna use my tweezers to help me out here, but we're gonna do hugs here. And then next would be birthday. So I'm gonna put birthday here. I don't want these to be lined up or even. That's why we cut them apart. Just kind of adds a little bit of interest to the card. Kind of animates it a little bit, I think. And then we'll put this one up here. So we've got, I'm gonna move it up just a little bit so it's spaced out just a little bit better. So sending birthday hugs, we've got that. And then I'm actually going to bring in some of our 2024-2026 in color shimmer gems. And let's see, I think I want to use, what color? Because I don't have any on the previous card. I'm going to use, I think we're going to use Petunia Pop. So is that what I want? No, I think I want to go with pink. I can change my mind. All right, let's do this one and this one. And then I'm going to take another little one and I'm going to put it like right over here. Stick down. Very good. All right, we now have card number 1 complete. How fun was that? They are so cute, don't you think? Just looking at the stamp set itself, I wouldn't be able to see this, but once you start playing with it, they start to come alive, so to speak. All right, let's go ahead and do another one. We're gonna bring this one in and let's talk about what is involved in this kit. This is the one that doesn't have a critter. So we have our basic white cardstock. We have another layer of basic white cardstock. And then we've got our designer series paper in the end colors. So we've got designer series paper. I've got 4 different patterns. And then I've got a circle that was punched. Now my banner is missing. I don't know where my banner went. All right, that's okay. We will make it work. I'm going to improvise because the dies that I want to use I don't have out. So we're going to go ahead and create our own banner. So we'll get there. All right, let's go ahead and start with just our base. So let's go ahead and fold our card base over and get it burnished. So it's waiting for us, ready to go. Whoops, knocked my little critters over. All right, off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this base and we are going to find a way to line up our designer series paper the way that we like it. And let me see, maybe put this one up here and this one down here. But what I'll do is I'll get this lined up the way that I want it and spaced out as evenly as I can. And it's not even the same as it was with the first one. I'm not doing it exactly the same. And that's okay. Doesn't need to be. All right, so let's start gluing these down. Start with one and then we'll get the others lined up as we go along. All right, so I'm gonna turn it this way just to kind of help me out a little bit. But this will be the one that sets the tone for all the others. So I want to make sure that I get it fairly straight all the way around top to bottom. I feel like, see, I got to pick it up. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do this one, I believe. I'm going to pull it down just a little bit. And this one also has a ribbon on it, but I think what I'm gonna do with this one with the ribbon is rather than tie the bow, I'm going to just tie it in a knot and do like I had basically started sharing. See, now I come over too far. All right, I guess came over too far. How do I wanna play with this? See, this one doesn't even, there we go. I think it goes this way. Yep, it goes that way. All right, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in so there's not gonna be a lot of distance between them, just because I wanna have more of a white border on the outside. So sometimes you have to improvise. I am improvising right now because I do want that white border on the outside to match the white border on this side. So I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll not have as much room in the middle, but that's okay. I'm putting stuff in the middle of it anyway. So let's see, I wanna make sure I get it lined up appropriately. And I guess, you know, maybe my message to you is that everything works. You know, you may have to just adjust a little bit, but everything works. That works out fine for me. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to take ribbon. And this ribbon, now I've got two choices. I think I'm gonna go across the middle because we'll go ahead and leave those little white spaces in there. So this, I'm gonna do this the exact same way that I did before. I'm gonna go ahead and trim this up. And then we'll go ahead and utilize the Scotch tape again to get one side down. So let me look at this. And this is about the center. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that tape down. And then this one, I wanna make it even. All right. Okay, see, I'm already starting to come up with some ideas as to what I wanna do with this that's going to be different. Okay, so we're gonna leave it like this. I'm actually, let me see what I wanna do. Do I wanna go ahead? Let's go ahead and build the circle. And the circle has another set of leaves on it. Oh goodness, I have one more, that's perfect. And then we're gonna do flowers. So we're gonna do 2 pink flowers and we're gonna do 1 summer splash flower. So let me pull my flowers out. There's one, and then a summer splash. There we go. All right, got that. Let's close that up. Move it out of the way. And these guys, let's go ahead and put this down on our circle to start. Move that out of the way. Gonna make myself some room. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. Little dots, dot, dot, dot. Okay. And let me see if I can do this. Maybe I need my tweezers just to help me out a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get this down on our circle. Okay. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn these over so that the back sides are up. And we're gonna take some little mini dimensionals. Let me see, here they are. And I'm gonna put the dimensionals on the back and we're gonna pop these flowers up. Did I get that centered okay? Yeah, I think, no. I kind of thought I was off centered just a little bit. All right, that took off a little bit of my flower, but it's on the back side, so it doesn't matter. We're gonna do this again, and this time I'm gonna do a better job of getting it in the middle. All right. So let's go ahead and take these off. 1, 2, and 3. And now I can start to place these. So we'll put one flower here and I'm going right over those little green dots. Here's another one. I'm like, oh no, I lost my flower. It was on my finger, as is this one. All right, here we go. All right, we've got that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this back in. And let me think how I wanna do this. Maybe what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and get this adhered to my card base. And I am popping it up. So I'm gonna bring my dimensionals back out again. See, they're right over here. And we'll do the exact same thing that we did before. So I don't really wanna put it on the ribbon because the ribbon's gonna add some extra height as well if I put the dimensional on top of it. All right, so we'll do it like this and then go ahead and get our backs off. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a little bit of glue here. I'm just notorious for not getting it exactly straight. So if I get it straight because I'm putting glue on the back of my dimensionals, that's a win. If I don't get it straight and I'm putting glue on the back of my dimensionals, then I can move it around, and that's a win too. So let me go ahead and get this down. And it looks like I am gonna have to just work it around a little bit. And even though I've got glue on the back of my dimensionals, it's still giving me a little bit of grief just because I just did a little bit, not a lot. But way more opportunity for me to make changes than I would have if I'd stuck it down the first time around. Okay, so now we're gonna put dimensionals on the back of my circle. So let's go ahead and get that done. One, 2, and 4. Let's see, that one doesn't want to come up. Hello? Oh, there we go. All right. And we'll turn this around, and we're going to put this in the center here. I like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie our bow. So I'm going to need to bring my ribbon back in again. And this time I'm just going to tie it as a knot. So we're going to go ahead and tuck this down again. Get my taker pick to help me out. And my snips, my ribbon snips. Excuse me. And we're just going to tie this as a little knot. There we go. And then I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to angle this off. I'm going to angle this one off. Let's see if I can adjust it just a little bit. So we've got that going. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to work on our sentiment. So the sentiment is happy birthday. So let me bring out, let's see. Which one is the happy birthday? I'm trying to. So this particular one doesn't have happy birthday. I used a different set. So let me go ahead and figure out which one I want to use. So it's there when you need it, sending a big hug. Thanks. We're just going to do a thanks. We're just going to do thanks, which is good because now what I can use is I can use this little one. Improvising yet again. All right, here's our little thanks. So I'm going to put it down. So, and then I'm going to use, for this one, I am going to use the Memento ink instead of the green. So we'll go ahead and get this stamped. And pardon my head, I'm so sorry. I'll bring this down just a little bit more so you don't have to stare too much at my head. But basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this centered right in the middle. All right, we have thanks. Let me wash this off real quick. And get this closed up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a banner, and I'm just trying to decide if I want to cut this down just a little bit more, and I think I do. So we're going to cut off a little bit here, and then I'm going to try to do about the same amount on this side. Okay, and now that we've done that, let me see if that's about right. Yep, that's going to work. All right, so did you guys see what I was doing? Hopefully you didn't. I was using my ribbon snips for my paper. Not good. All right. When you make a banner, start in the middle and just do a little snip down the middle. And then what you can do is you can go from the corner to the center and cut that off. Corner to the center, cut that off. And we've got one end of our banner. And then I'm going to, let me see, do I want to do, I think I'm going to do this just a little bit differently. I mean, why not, right? I think I'm going to bring it up under here. I'm just thinking because this is so little, I don't know that that's going to be the best way for me to do this. Since it's a shorter sentiment. I think what I want to do is I'm going to put this like right under here. Yep. All right, so we're going to place it there. And then we're going to put some embellishments on. We're gonna dress this thing up. So I'm gonna tuck it in so you don't see the one end of it. And let's push it up just a little bit. Okay, so now it's right behind. I'm just making sure it's straight. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's get this stuff out of the way. And then I'm gonna bring the gems back in, and I'm gonna play around just a little bit. I think what I want to do is, let's just test this out. We can always take this up if we don't want it, but you know, I've got these little spaces here. So I'm thinking maybe what I might want to do is put some gems in the spaces. Like, let me see, let's get this straight. I'm thinking on the fly, guys. So we're gonna put some there. And then I'm also going to put some here. And let's see, maybe I need to move one of them over. I'm gonna move this one over just a tad. My take your pick helps me do surgery on my card when I'm working with dimensionals. All right, put it right there. Oh my gosh, how fun is that? Okay, we're not done yet. Now I gotta put my little gems right here in the center of my flowers. And then I've got one more that's gonna go right here. Okay, what do you guys think? How fun was that? It's a little thank you card. This was a happy birthday card. This had a bow. This one has a knot that's tied, but I can adjust this just a little bit, I think. Hold on just a second. I don't want to fray it, but I can adjust it maybe just a little bit. Maybe move it out just a little bit. Give me just a sec. Playing with it. Okay, let's do it about like right there. All right, good. And then what I did is, because I moved this edge over too far, that meant that I had to come to the center with this, but then it left me with these wide gaps, just the way that I chose to space it. So I was able to take gems, put the gems in the wide gap. I've got gems on my flowers, and what a pretty card. Basically the same as the previous card that I made, but I just changed it up a little bit. How fun is that? I like that one. All right, bring in the last one. Let's see what you can do different on this one. I don't have anything planned, but you never know what's gonna happen. All right, we've got our basic white cardstock. We have Petunia Pop Designer Series paper. We have Petunia Pop cardstock, basic white cardstock, another Petunia Pop Designer Series paper, and look, I have a label in this one. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this. Well, we do have two things to stamp. We've got to stamp our little critter and get him colored in. And I need to, he's going to need some pink. So let's go ahead and get our little critter stamped. And I need to put him on a block. So let's find him. He's right here. And we'll get him on a block. Is that big enough for him? Yes, it is. And I'm going to use the Memento ink because we are going to be utilizing the Stampin' Blends to color him in. I'll make sure I get good coverage on my stamp. Bring my layer in that we're going to stamp on. And I'm actually going to stamp down, not quite towards the bottom, but down towards the bottom a little bit. All right, so there he is. He is so cute. Is he a gerbil or is he a hamster? I don't know. I don't know what he is. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna color him in crumb cake. So I'm gonna start with the light again, and let's see, I don't wanna do his ears. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get things outlined just so that I don't go outside the lines. And then I can do the fill-in. Actually, I am gonna color him up just a little bit differently. I think I started with the darker color, but this is fine, this works. Again, I have fun. It's, you know, I just don't do every card the same. I might have good intentions to do every card the same, but in the grand scheme of things, there's always a little tweak here and there that I end up doing, as you just saw on my last card. So let's get his body all colored in. I love coloring with the Stampin' blends because when they dry, everything kind of blends together and you don't see all these lines per se that you're seeing right now. All right, let's take the darker, and this time I'm gonna do his hands and his feet darker. So these are little bitty hands. So I'm gonna very lightly touch the papers so that I'm not overwhelming it. Let's do his little bitty feet and his toes. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add some highlighting for him. So I'm gonna go around this way and this way, and then we'll do it along the edges here. And then we'll blend it in. So basically he's getting a lot of highlighting done to him. I've gone all the way around. Oh, I might as well do the top over here, right, too? Okay. Now let's color this all in again. I'll make him a little bit darker. I'm doing kind of circular motions, trying to pull from the outside edge in so it's lighter as we go in to the center. And then I can add more color as I need to. But I want to soften those lines and then bring this into the center. Okay. And I can go over this a number of times as I need to. But that's my focus right now, is I'm really just trying to get those lines to soften. And then it just kind of looks like natural shading. We're getting there. Then I'll do a little bit over the tummy area. And I think for the most part, we're pretty good. See how it pulls in from that center area though? Do a little bit more here. Okay. Very good. I like that. All right. So I did bring in the light Pretty in Pink. This is very light, but I feel like he needs some pink ears. So I'm going to put a little bit of pink here and a little pink here. He needs a little bit of a pink nose. And I think I am going to give him some cheeks, but I'm not gonna, I'm just doing a tiny bit. I don't really want it to be like big round cheeks. All right, that's done. Now what we're gonna do to finish this piece up is we're gonna bring in another die that is in this set, and it's the hearts. So I'm gonna pull those out. And what we're gonna do is we're going to center them above him. So I'm gonna take my tape and reuse it again, and I'm just gonna center this so that it stays in place. And I'll go ahead and pull this piece out as well. Okay, we'll bring back in the cut and emboss and my sandwich plates. And we'll crank this through. All right. Oh, look at all these little hearts that just flew. You can save these hearts for something else. There's a couple more in here. Let me get this out of the way. All right, so let's pull this out of the way. I'll clean those out in a minute. We'll put these out of the way because I might want to use them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of Designer Series paper and we're going to align it. Maybe I didn't make it fat enough. Wouldn't that be something? Let's see. Looks like I didn't quite make it fat enough. Not to worry. We're going to figure this out. maybe what I want to do is I'm going to do it in 2 pieces. So obviously I'm not going to be able to do it in one. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to do this like so. And what we'll do is we'll just take some glue or some glue, put it around. I don't know how I did the other one. Maybe I had a fatter piece. And then we'll go ahead and get this down. Let me see how many do I get to do? About that many? All right, so we've got this down. And then what we'll do is we'll take this one and we will put it on this side. And I do kind of want my angles to go maybe the same way. It doesn't really matter. I'm just looking to see, because there's stripes here, how I can work this so it kind of looks the same. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to be exactly the same, but that's okay. Because in order to do that, I would have to go this way. Is that right? I mean, I could do that. Is that what I want? That one's straight up and down. I guess it really doesn't make any difference, right? All right, let me try this again. Yep, I think we're just going to do it like this. Thinking too hard. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue around here. And we'll get this adhered. And then I'll cut off any extra that I've got. Let's see, let's do that. Okay, so this is sticking off of this edge. We're just going to trim this edge off. Okay, so we've got that part done. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this piece to the Petunia Pop card base, or cardstock base. So let's go ahead and do that. That down. I'm going to pick it up so I can look at it, make sure I have it straight all the way around. Okay. I'm going to take this piece of Designer Series paper and I'm going to adhere it to the card base. Make sure I've got it going the right direction. Lay this down, wiggle it around just a little bit. I can tell I was off. There we go. Whoop. I think this needs to go up just a little bit. Up, there we go. All right. Now what we'll do is we'll put dimensionals behind this one. Let me see, they're right here. I just like a lot of support, so you see me using a lot of dimensionals. You don't have to use as many as I do. You don't. I just like to make sure I've got lots of support on it. All right, let's go ahead and take the backs of this off. I miss you guys. This is a recorded version. I don't have anybody to talk to. I miss you guys. All right, let's go ahead and put some glue on the backs of this. I'm not doing the glue on the back for the adhesive purposes. I'm doing it so that I have a little bit of wiggle room as I lay this down and try to get it centered. Because sometimes I do have to move it like I'm doing right now. This needs to go up just a little bit higher. And it just gives me that, that wiggle room. I also see that I have some glue on this that I'm going to want to, can I move that over just a little bit? So I'm going to take my adhesive eraser and this little marking, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Sometimes I can't tell if you guys can see it in the camera or not, but there's just a little bit of glue here. So I'm going to take my adhesive eraser and erase that glue, and it's all good. All right. So next step, we need to do a stamping, sending a big hug. And Sending a Big Hug is on the label that I pulled out. So this one is going to go across his belly, and it's not actually going to be utilized completely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and it's Sending a Big Hug. So we'll go ahead and get this down. Line it up the way that I normally do. That looks straight. All right, Petunia Pop. Make sure I got good coverage. I'm gonna pull it down here. I know it's hard for you guys to see out. I just wanna make sure I get it centered correctly. So let me do this. Hopefully. Huh. Yeah, that'll work. That will work. All right, let's clean this off. Off to the side. We're going to lay this down about right here. I'm actually gonna pop it up, so I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna cut it off just a little bit over here, because what I really wanna do is I wanna put the bow on top of it. So we're gonna move this off to the side. This is gonna have dimensionals. So let me pull in, I don't know if my big dimensionals will be too big or not. Let me just test this out. I think the big dimensionals are gonna work. All right, get these lined up appropriately. All right, move this stuff out of the way. Get the back off of here. Oops. Okay. Did that come off? Yes, it did. Yep. All right, now let's go ahead and get this down. Across his belly. I think that's straight. Straight. All right, let's go ahead and tie a bow. This is just a bow, so I can leave it on the spool, do a little finessing with it. Okay, and then use my ribbon snips and snip my ends. All right, that one's a little short, so we're gonna cut this one shorter. I just need to be able to grab it. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna pull the glue dot out, and we're gonna adhere this with a glue dot. So I'm gonna pull the glue dot out, and then I'm gonna just kind of roll it into a ball on here, and then we'll stick it on the end of this banner. And now we have that. And the last thing we're gonna do is bring our gems in again. And I have them right here. This time we're gonna use the Petunia Pop. And I'm gonna put one about right here. And then we'll take a bigger one and maybe up here, and a smaller one, and do it like right here. Whoops. There we go. Okay, now we have card number 3 done. And card number 3 pretty much looks like card number 2. I think the only difference is I had to make the designer series paper here work. But it did. These are all going the same direction because I used a wider piece. This was a smaller piece, but it still worked. So I'm not worried about it at all. He almost looks like he's skinnier, but I think maybe the reason I think that is because he's got smaller cheeks. I put bigger cheeks on him. So anyway, all right, let me move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to bring back in the other 2 cards. Here's this card with the variation. And then this card, I mean, I didn't deviate too much from it. It just has more flowers. But how fun is that? So this again is the Hearts and Hugs stamp set. Look how cute these turned out. I have so much fun playing with these. All right, let me come back to you for just a second to say goodbye. Thank you for joining me today. Even though I am recording, I always love it when you guys take time to stop by my Facebook and watch my to-go class live. This is a to-go class. Like I said, please go out to my website at aprildaviscreations.com, and it will then give you all of the information that you need if you're interested in getting this kit for free. It's placing an order in my online store utilizing the host code. The host will be there. The host code will be there. I'm not going to show you the one tonight because it's going to be different. But the host code will be there. Place your order, utilize the host code, and then that's my signal that you want this kit for free. You will get all 3 cards, 2 of each card. The only thing that I don't do is the stamping. So you're going to want to make sure that you have the Hearts and Hug bundle, both the stamp set and the dies, and you will be able to create these cards exactly like I have. If you don't have the bundle, but you've got something that's similar in your library, pull it out, utilize it. Maybe you've got some cute little critters that you can utilize instead of the ones that we're utilizing tonight. So again, thank you so much. I'm going to take this down and I'm going to ask if you guys would to please like and share my video, both on Facebook, and then I do upload it to YouTube. So if you miss me on Facebook Live, I will be on YouTube on that Friday. So thank you again, and I will catch up with you guys when I get back from Boston. Take care. Bye.